Hi, I'm Tyler Hill with Freedom Financial Group, and we help families just like you navigate retirement and what to do when the paycheck stops. So what I'm going to be doing today is going through some questions that have gotten sent to us, and this one is from Harvey in Pelham.
Should all of my IRA money be left to my wife if something happens to me? Or should I leave some of it to our kids? I'm asking because my wife will have plenty of income and remaining assets when I'm gone with or without my IRAs.
So Harvey, that's a great question. And I guess I would start by asking, you sound confident that your wife is not going to need that IRA money. And so I'm wondering what else is going on. I would assume if you're saying that she's not going to need that IRA money, y'all have gone through a full analysis, you have a retirement plan where you know exactly what she's going to need, and you're not concerned at all about when you pass away, she's going to lose the lower of the two Social Securities, regardless of who passes away first. The spouse only keeps the higher Social Security. If you have pension income, that can go a long way towards helping out retirement. But it would really only help out your wife if you've elected the 100% spousal option. So I'm getting into the details a little bit here, but really what I'm trying to highlight is, do I need to leave the money behind to my wife, or can I leave it to the kids? And really what we want to make sure is that if something happens to you, your spouse is taken care of. I have never sat down with anyone that said, hey, when I pass away, I don't care what happens to my spouse. The majority of the response, what I hear is, I just want to make sure that we're going to be okay. And if something happens to me, I want to make sure she's taken care of. And if there's something left behind, how do we maximize that? How do we leave it to the kids without them getting hit with a big tax bomb? But you sound confident that she's not going to need that money. And so really my question is what is causing you to have that level of confidence? Because a lot of times I think what happens is you may be pretty sure, but when it comes to something as important is your spouse going to be okay if something happens to you? We need to make sure that we've really analyzed the situation. So really, if what you're trying to do is get that answered, or you're listening to this and you're trying to figure out, well, if something does happen to me, how do I make sure my spouse is taken care of? And then also on the back end, how do we maximize what's being left to the kids and the grandkids? There's really two ways you can do that. You can give us a call and we can sit down and have a one-on-one conversation of your exact situation. Or if really what you're trying to do is just gather some more information, we teach a course that goes through the areas of how to build a sound retirement plan, which is income planning, investment planning, tax planning, healthcare planning, and legacy planning. So it really hits on all those areas so that you aren't guessing, you know with certainty, we're going to be okay. If something happens to me, my spouse is going to be okay. If one of us goes into a nursing home, we're going to be okay. And if the money's left behind, we're not leaving a huge chunk of it to the IRS. We're actually maximizing what we're leaving behind so that our kids benefit. Because that's actually something I really haven't even hit on yet. If what you're trying to do is leave money behind to the kids, I'm assuming it's because you're wanting a legacy. That's the only reason why you would skip leaving it to your wife. And you're talking about leaving behind one of the most tax hostile buckets that you have. Because any money in an IRA or a 401k, when the kids inherit that, as of the law today, they have a 10-year time frame to deplete those assets. And when they're pulling it out, it's being treated as income. Getting a tax plan of being able to take back control so that the money that's being left behind is actually being left to your kids and your grandkids and not the IRS would require us to look at what's the best way to leave it behind. I know you now have probably been hearing a lot about Roth conversions. Does that make sense for me? How much should I convert? That would be us looking at, instead of leaving IRA money behind, is there a way to convert that to Roth IRAs where it grows tax-free? Because kind of quickly on that note, anything in an IRA or 401k you have never paid taxes on. So when you pull that out, it's treated as income for you or for your kids. What we look at doing is, should we go ahead and take some of that money out of that tax-deferred bucket today, and we do pay taxes on the transfer, But once it's reinvested in that Roth IRA bucket, it now will grow tax-free, assuming you leave it in there for 5 years. When you pull it out, it's income tax-free for you, for your spouse, for your kids, for your grandkids. So that's also something that I'm really hearing kind of two things for you, Harvey. One, we need to actually make sure your spouse isn't going to need that income. We need to analyze your situation. And two, if you're trying to maximize what you're leaving behind to your kids, leaving them a big tax bomb with the IRAs probably isn't the accounts to be doing it, if we can get out in front of it. If you have questions around how we can help you, if you're looking for more information and want to come to the course, you can either call the number on the screen or click the link below.